South San Francisco Unified School District Superintendent Barbara Olds said that last year was the most difficult and challenging in my 39 years in the school district. Find out why when we talk to the superintendent when we come back.
In January, it's so nice, while swimming on sliding ice. Sip hot chicken soup with rice, sipping once, sipping twice, sipping chicken soup with rice. You make a ride go away, far stay roll on way, and dream about my soup all day. One by one.
Hi, I'm Bruce Grantham, and welcome to Our Children, Our Future, a program about education in the South San Francisco Unified School District. And thanks to the good people at Prudential California Realty of San Bruno, we're back for a second year of shows. Just as she did on the first show last year, with me is Superintendent Barbara Olds of the South San Francisco Unified School District. Barbara, thank you for coming on again this year.
Well, thank you, Bruce, for having me. And I would just like to, on behalf of our school board and our school district, thank you for a wonderful year that you had last year in producing and all of the other things that you do for this show. Really appreciate your hard work. And as you mentioned, I'd also like to thank Prudential California Realty of San Bruno for sponsoring the show again this year. Without them, we wouldn't be here tonight.
We had a lot of fun.
Yes.
It was a good year, and we had a lot of fun.
It was.
And I was surprised at the number of people that actually watched the show, whether they're surfing or make a point of tuning in. So.
Well, and then we had our superintendent's favorites during the summer, so that was
the reruns.
nice. The reruns. So that was
I even got comments about that.
Yeah, that was really great.
Barbara, in the opening, I said something about you saying that last year was such a difficult year. What made it the most difficult year and challenging year that you've had in the school district?
Well, I have been in South San Francisco for 39 years, and 21 of them have been in administration. And last year was very, very difficult because of the financial picture that we had in the school district. We started the year okay. We thought that our budget was balanced, and we thought that we were in pretty good shape. We knew that there were some problems because of funding through the state and so forth. But in November, we realized that we were short and that we were going to have to make budget cuts in order to have a balanced budget. The State of California, the County Office of Education requires that we have a positive budget, positive certification, and if they don't, then what could happen is that we could go into receivership like Oakland and Vallejo. And of course we didn't want to do that. So very early in the calendar year, January, we started making very, very painful budget cuts. Last year, 04-05, this year, 05-06, and 06-07, we were forced to make about $5.3 million worth of cuts.
And that's in a budget that's what?
$60 million. We closed an elementary school, little elementary school, Hillside Elementary. The enrollment there.
And that is one of the most difficult things that a school board ever has to do.
Tremendously.
And I might
disappointing.
Add, last spring there were this scenario was playing out all over the Bay Area. South San Francisco is not alone in having to take this kind of drastic measure in order to make up for budget shortfalls.
That's very true. And our employees have not had an increase in either salary or in fringe benefits. And so that's very difficult, especially since you're seeing the escalating costs in fringe benefits. And so our employees are taking home less now than they were a couple of years ago because of the cost of fringe benefits. So it was really difficult. The board was supportive in the administration's recommendations. It was very, very difficult for them to close that little elementary school. Mm-hmm. And they did, and we've moved forward now. We have a new year, but even with those tough fiscal decisions that we had to make.
And I think that's important to note that as difficult as it was last year and as challenging as it was, the South San Francisco Unified School District had some tremendous success stories and a lot of accomplishments.
Absolutely, yes. And I'd like to share some of those with you.
Please.
Each year our board sets out some general goals that we want to accomplish during the year. And the first general area that is important, and that's student achievement. Now, parents know, and of course our teachers and our students know, how important the STAR test is, and that's the test that students take in the spring each year. Based upon how well those students do, a school is assigned, based upon No Child Left Behind, annual yearly progress. Did you make annual yearly progress? Now, what does that mean? Well, students taking the test, did they score at the proficient or advanced level on either English language arts or on the math portion of the state standards test? Mm-hmm. We were really proud of what the schools accomplished, what our students accomplished, and what our teachers and our staff accomplished, because all 16 of our schools made the AYP in the area of English language arts. 15 of the 16 schools accomplished the AYP in the area of math. And so we were very, very proud of that.
And the high school students, the California High School Exit Exam, which is on the horizon, a graduation requirement for the class of 2006, students have been taking that test, and I understand our high school students did quite well.
Yes, they did. And as a result of that, our high schools also met their AYP because of the students doing so well in that.
And I think it's something like over 80% of our high school, what is now our high school seniors, have already passed the high school exit exam.
That's correct, yes. In addition, we have a large population of second language students, mm-hmm. and we have our special ed students. And we're really pleased to report that district-wide, both of those categories of students also did a good job and made us proud in the results that they had of those two tests. So that's a biggie for a school district, you know, to have a student performance goal and to really do well.
Well, that's what the school districts, that's what it's all about.
That's what we're all about.
Sure.
One of the other areas that was a board goal was the area of communication. Mm-hmm. And Our Children, Our Future, that was one of our big accomplishments this year. And like I mentioned before, thanks to your leadership, we were able to produce 18 30-minute segments mm-hmm. that dealt with issues in our district, student success, and you showcased a lot of the programs that not only pertain to our district, but for the county, would pertain to areas of, like you did one on scholarships, that would pertain to everybody throughout the county.
And mock trial, the high schools participate in mock
right.
trial throughout San Mateo County.
Right, that's true. So we had two huge events or two huge programs in the area of communication. One was Our Children, Our Future. Mm-hmm. Very, very proud of that. And then the second huge event that we had was South San Francisco Unified School District Night at SBC Park. And yes, it was just a baseball game, but it was really more than that. April the 20th, mm-hmm. we had, as a fundraiser, we sold 2,500 tickets to the game. We had our bands, our 5 secondary bands, played in front of the stadium before the game. Mm-hmm. And then it was amazing how all of those children were out on the field playing the national anthem. Absolutely marvelous.
And the most important thing is you got to throw out the first pitch.
I did. I wasn't going to mention that.
Oh, you've got to.
But
a thrill of a lifetime.
It was once in a lifetime. But you know, it was more than just a baseball game, more than just a fundraiser, but it was a community event that brought our school community together. And our parents came through, our students came through, staff was wonderful, and the Giants were really great to us. And we're going to do it again.
Very good. We're going to do it again. Real quick before we close this segment, what would you like to accomplish this year?
Well, the board, again, The board set the broad goals again in the area of student achievement, communication, professional development, resource management, and so we have set out goals in each one of those areas.
Well, Barbara, it was a tough year last year, but people still had fun. They had a good time. Students are learning, and that's the important thing.
Yes.
Thank you very much, and good luck this year.
You're welcome.
We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to look at how South San Francisco High School alumni are giving back to their high school at the Principal's Blue and White Ball. Stay with us.
January is so nice, while swimming on sliding ice.
Prudential California Realty is pleased to support the South San Francisco Unified School District. With several offices located throughout the South Bay, we help home buyers realize their dreams of ownership and sellers maximize their home investment. Prudential California Realty is a longtime partner with education, having created the Education Foundation in 1992, which provides grants to teachers throughout Northern California. Prudential California Realty, your partner in real estate.
You've always been like a son to me, Mikey. And that's why I find it unfortunate that we're in this little situation here. No, don't do it. Don't do it. You're gonna pay for this. Peninsula TV, how will it affect you?
Welcome back. The state just does not fund schools adequately, so schools have to fundraise in order to buy needed instructional supplies and equipment in order to maintain quality educational and co-curricular programs. For the past 10 years, alumni and friends of South San Francisco High School have put on the Principal's Blue and White Ball every fall. With me to talk about the ball are two members of the planning committee, Larry Franzella with Prudential California Realty of San Bruno, a major contributor from the ball from the very beginning, and South San Francisco High School alum Rich Goldstein, class of 1970. Larry, Rich, welcome and thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Larry, how and why did the Blue and White Ball come about, and how did you first get involved?
It's probably about, well, we'll be having our 11th ball this year, so it was about some 11 years ago. The then principal, Barbara Olds, who's now the superintendent, was looking for ways to have a fundraiser that was just for the school that the alumni could support. Worked with Will Maher, a former teacher at South San Francisco, and he came up with the idea of doing a dinner dance ball and kind of took off from there, and he contacted myself to work on it, and was kind of a natural. The CEO of Prudential was an alumni of South San Francisco High School, and it just kind of has taken off from there.
What other organizations are involved in sponsoring the ball?
There's a lot of the business community that supports it. There's Millbrae Furniture, there's the First National Bank, Goldstein Munger and Associates, Fidelity National Title, number of organizations throughout the community. South San Francisco Lumber Company, Paul Slattery, a general contractor, number of organizations.
So it's a big alumni supported event. Rich, you're an alum. When did you get involved?
I got involved about 2 years ago. Will Maher asked me to be the treasurer because I have a financial background, and my wife Leanne has been involved in the committee for many years.
Rich, tell us about the ball as an event. What goes on? What's it all about?
Well, it's a really fun time. There's a lot of dancing. There's great music. There's a DJ who's excellent. He asks each table what kind of music they want to hear, and then he plays that music. And people dance all night long, right up until the end. There's good food, good drink, good socializing. There's a raffle. There are balloons that you buy, and you pop it, and you get a ticket, and you redeem it for a prize, and there's nice gift baskets. And then there's an auction, and they auction a few items. It's not overdone. And last year they auctioned off a signed jersey by Barry Bonds.
And how much did that get? Well, you're the money guy,
I
Rich.
don't remember offhand.
I think it was around $1,500 or $1,700. But you said something about
yeah.
Jerry Rice. We were talking earlier. Jerry Rice 49er jersey a few years ago went for how much?
About $2,000.
Interesting note. We're on this side of the bay. When Jerry was a Raider and you had a Raider jersey signed by Jerry, what did that go for?
We fought to get $700.
I don't think the Denver jersey will get much more than that. Larry, how much? This is a money event. I mean, it's all for good fun and everything. But the bottom line is, South San Francisco High School really has come to count on this discretionary money to be able to use to support programs. How much money has been raised through the Blue and White Ball over the years?
It's amazing how successful it's been. Our first year we started out and we had raised about $6,700, and in total in the past 10 years for the high school we've raised $196,000
in 10 years.
In 10 years, and last year's ball raised some $42,000. It's just a tremendously supported activity, and it really pulls the high school community together, and they're behind it all the way.
Tell us about this year's Blue and White Ball. You're on the planning committee. Where and when? Tell us about it.
October 29th. You want to mark that down?
I think we have a slide that we're going to bring up too.
It's at the South San Francisco Convention Center. It starts at about 6 o'clock with a happy hour, cocktail hour. Balloons are being sold at that time. Still a chance to purchase raffle tickets, and then dinner at 7:30, and dancing begins at 8:30 and continues on until about midnight.
Sounds like a good event. If people are interested, if somebody's out there interested in sponsoring, making a donation, or sponsoring, contributing prizes, or if there's alumni out there that want to buy tickets and bring their wives and friends and family, who do they contact?
They should contact Will Maher, and he can be reached at 650-877-8754. That's right at the high school, at the main office at South San Francisco High School, and they'll see that the information gets to them, and they can either get tickets, raffle tickets, whatever they need. We'd love any additional support we can receive.
Rich, when I talked to your wife, she said you might have a couple of juicy alumni stories. Anything come up over the years at the Blue and White Ball?
I don't know of any stories specific to the Blue and White Ball, but I have a story about my wife and I, and that is, have you ever fantasized about getting back together with somebody you knew in high school? My wife and I are living that fantasy. We knew each other in high school almost 35 years ago, and we actually went on double dates. We weren't dating each other, but we were dating other people, and we knew each other. And then about 3 years ago, some friends of ours conspired to get us together. We were both single, and one of her friends, Carol Baskin, now Carol Neary, asked her if she if she wanted me to call her, and she said yes. And then Carol told her sister, Carol Baskin, now Linda Baskin, now Linda Ogg, lifetime friends of mine, Rich and Linda Ogg, alumni also. And so Linda then told me that Leanne would like me to call her and take her out for coffee.
Rich, we're going to have to end.
Okay.
I'd like to have the happy ending.
The rest is history.
The rest is history. The message out there is that you can find your high school love at the Blue and White Ball. Don't miss it. When we come back, we're going to meet the new principal of El Camino High School. Stay with us.
January is so nice. Walk women on sliding ice.
If you live on the peninsula, there's only one place to get the latest news on business, sports, politics, education, and your community. Peninsula TV, Channel 26, the Peninsula and South Bay's Emmy Award-winning programming resource. For more information or for a programming schedule, go to PenTV.tv or call us at 650-637-1936. Peninsula TV, your community programming channel.
Real estate with Bobby Decker is for anyone who owns a home or aspires to do so. Everything that is important to or an interesting facet of home ownership will be covered by our program. Please join us. You won't want to miss Real Estate with me, your host, Bobby Decker.
Emmy Award-winning Peninsula TV provides a large multifunctional TV studio and video production facility, state-of-the-art equipment, and affordable prices. Let our professional staff and crew produce your company or organization's next video, or create your own TV series and air it on one of the Bay Area's largest community cable channels. Contact Peninsula TV at PenTV.tv or call 650-637-1936.
Welcome back. Since it opened in 1961, El Camino High School has had only 4 principals: Robert Karopian for over 25 years, Mark Avalar, who was a graduate of the first class in 1964, Diane Klein, and Gary Capurro, who just retired last spring. And now I'd like to introduce to you the number 5 principal at El Camino High School, Adele Berg. Adele, welcome and congratulations to you on your new appointment and your new challenge.
Thank you.
What was the reaction? What was your reaction when you learned about your appointment to El Camino High School?
I was extremely honored, yet humbled. I knew it was a huge responsibility to take on a new school. I had a lot of ambivalent feelings about leaving South San Francisco High School, which is where I was prior to coming to El Camino. But I knew I was ready for the challenge. I clearly understand the district office level of support, and I knew how comprehensive that would be, so that's inspired a great deal of confidence, and I'm really looking forward to that learning curve that it's going to provide.
A very steep learning curve it'll have to be, won't it?
Yes.
Adele, when did you set your sights on becoming a high school principal?
In 1993, I made a life change, which I won't detail, but at that juncture, I knew that I'd had my experience in teaching at both a nonprofit for students who were on probation and a private school, special ed and general education, and I wanted to step up. And once I've learned a particular process or have an experience, I need to continue learning. The lifelong learner is probably overused, but that's how I see myself. And so at that juncture, I made a decision that while I was working and raising my 4 sons, that I would go back to school and pursue my administrative credential and my master's, which I did. And from there came to South San Francisco High School, and it's been upwards ever since.
Good experience at South San Francisco High School.
Excellent experience at South San Francisco, yes.
You've been on the job about a month. It'll be about maybe 6 weeks or 5 weeks when this program airs. What was your first month on the job like?
Very positive. I found that although we're 2 different schools, El Camino High School and South San Francisco High School, with different populations, the faculty is fantastic. They were very warm. The reception was warm. The office staff, very similar warmth and greeting. I walk around campus and students are eating. I see them get up from where they're eating to go to a trash can to dump their trash. I approach a student who's wearing the baseball cap sideways, and all I have to do is this: "Oh, I'm so sorry," and they put it back. I mean, the level of respect is just tremendous. I'm proud to be there.
And it sounds like you're a very visible principal to both staff and students, and that might have come through very clearly the first month that you were on campus.
Conceivably, yes.
Any surprises?
Lots of surprises, and all pleasant. Students are coming to my office, even though I'm new, and I'm sort of surprised that they're doing that. They'll walk in and ask for questions or ask for help or information and so forth. Parents are able to walk in, teachers are walking in, and one of the most important piece of what I do is to be hands-on and to have an open door policy, and I'm very committed to that, being out on campus, being visible in classrooms as often as I'm able to escape district office meetings and be out in the classrooms. Yeah. I'm doing that, so lots of very, very positive surprises.
I know that that you had a lot of time over the summer after your appointment, to think about, the new position and what you'd like to accomplish in your first year. Can you share maybe a little bit about that with us? What is it that you'd like to accomplish at El Camino High School this year?
Well, I believe that learning takes place everywhere. There's the learning in the classroom, judging by the test scores, is fantastic. It's outstanding. Our test scores are outstanding. Our faculty is outstanding. One of the things I hoped to do was to expose students to learning outside of the classroom as well. And I know that there's a faculty member who takes students through Close Up to Washington, D.C., and I'd hoped to bring Sojourn to the past next year.
The trip to the South.
Trip to the South.
Civil rights trip to the
Correct,
South.
correct.
We did a program with South City High School last year with Ashley Gray on Sojourn
Right,
to the South.
An incredible experience for students. So I'd hoped to bring that on, and I thought maybe next year, once I got to know faculty, I could engage someone to bring that along. And lo and behold, a faculty member came up to me and said, "I want to do this. I want to do it this year. How can you support me?" And we're off and running.
And students want to be involved.
Yes,
they take on more things outside. The more you can give them, they seem to just eat it up, and they like to be involved in doing things.
They thrive.
I think this program has really highlighted that fact, elementary through high school. Last year we did several programs, and it was students being involved beyond the classroom, extensions of the classroom.
Correct.
You know.
Absolutely.
What do you anticipate as your biggest challenge this year?
We have outstanding test scores. There is a segment of the population that we still need to address, and Barbara Olds referenced it earlier, our English language learners and our special ed students. And so the push this year is to provide them more remediation so that they can be successful and graduate the way everyone else does, with a diploma. So the focus is to bring systems on board and remediation during the school day to provide support for those students in either language arts or math or both, as needed.
You know, it's often difficult for staff and students to get to know the principal of the school. You know, they're sometimes very unapproachable. But maybe we can help that process just a little bit. I'm going to close with just to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about yourself. What's a little known fact about Adele Berg that maybe other people don't know but they'd find interesting?
When I lived in Marin County before I moved down here to San Mateo, I was raising my 4 sons, and we belonged to a Ross Valley Swim and Tennis Club. So I'd have my little boys at the pool, and the tennis pro came by one day and said, "Hey, would you like to learn to play tennis?" And I said, "Sure." So I started out in that year as a 2.0, which is knowing not much of anything, and in 4 years I was a 4.0 and playing competitively around the Bay Area.
A competitive tennis player.
Yes.
There might be some challenges out there. Thank you, Adele, and good luck to you in your new appointment.
Thank you very much.
I want to thank my guests this evening, Barbara Olds, Larry Franzella, Rich Goldstein, and Adele Berg. I'm Bruce Grantham for Our Children, Our Future. See you next time.